All right, so get ready because today we are going deep, deep into some mind-bending concepts.
That's right.
We're talking the law of one, harvest and planetary
Love
transition.
stuff.
We are exploring excerpts from the Rami Imperial,
Okay.
a series of channeled texts.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, these sources are absolutely packed with cosmic intrigue.
Absolutely. We're talking about some big questions here. What happens to us when we evolve? What is the deal with all this talk about different densities of reality? And what does it even mean for Earth to be on the cusp of a harvest?
I've always been fascinated by the interconnectedness of the universe
Right.
and the idea that everything is ultimately part of one big cosmic dance, you know.
Yeah.
These sources seem to really dive into that with the law of one. It's
Yeah.
it's all about this fundamental energy of love, right?
Absolutely. The law of one is presented as this underlying principle of the universe, and it suggests that everything, even seemingly disparate events, choices, are all interconnected, part of a larger evolutionary process.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
These excerpts talk about densities as different levels of spiritual evolution. It's like climbing a cosmic ladder,
Mm-hmm.
and each rung represents a different way of experiencing reality.
Yeah, think of it like this. Imagine reality as a spectrum of frequencies. Each density vibrates at a different frequency, and that vibration shapes the way beings in that density experience the universe, interact with each other, and even perceive concepts like time and space.
Okay, so where do we fit into all of this? These excerpts suggest that Earth is currently in third density, right?
Right, yeah.
What does that tell us about our current reality and the challenges we face?
Well, third density is all about self-awareness and choice.
Okay.
It's about wrestling with the duality of service to self versus service to others.
Hmm.
So this constant push and pull, this inner conflict between our ego-driven desires and our yearning for connection, compassion, that's the hallmark of third density.
It does make you wonder, though, like if we're constantly making choices, are we actually heading towards a harvest, as these excerpts describe?
Right.
Is it a specific event, or maybe more like a gradual shift?
Well, the raw material speaks of a time when individuals will essentially be assessed based on their spiritual evolution. Imagine it as a natural sorting process where your vibrational frequency determines which density you resonate with. No judgment, just a shift to an experience that matches your current level of consciousness.
Okay, hold on. So the excerpts mention steps of light guiding this transition. What does that even mean? Is it like walking through a cosmic doorway?
Well, it's not about physical steps or portals, but rather about aligning with a specific vibrational frequency. Imagine a tuning fork, right? When you strike it, it vibrates at a certain frequency. Similarly, as your consciousness evolves, you start resonating with the frequency of a particular density, and that's what guides the transition.
But let's be real, things on Earth seem pretty chaotic right now.
Yeah.
Wars, political divisions, climate change. Does any of this suggest we're moving towards a more harmonious fourth density?
Right. Well, that's where the concept of a mixed harvest comes in.
Okay.
These excerpts suggest that Earth is actually undergoing a harvest where both positively and negatively oriented souls are graduating to fourth density.
Wait, both good and bad souls are moving on.
Yeah.
How does that work? It seems counterintuitive.
It's important to remember that this isn't about moral judgments. The negatively oriented path focused on service to self also evolves through its own set of densities.
Okay.
So you could have both highly evolved service to others beings and highly evolved service to self beings, both graduating to their respective fourth density experiences.
So this mixed harvest, could that explain why things feel so intense right now? Like there's this clash of energies happening on a global scale.
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Imagine both polarities, positive and negative, existing simultaneously on Earth, each striving to shape the future. This tension, this cosmic tug of war, could certainly explain the intensity we're experiencing collectively.
All right, we've got to talk about these wanderers.
Right.
These excerpts suggest that some souls among us are actually from higher densities, choosing to incarnate on Earth to help with the harvest. That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
It's a captivating concept, isn't it? Imagine these souls, already familiar with higher densities, choosing to veil themselves in forgetfulness and dive into the challenges of third density. Their mission, to act as catalysts for positive change.
But if they don't remember their mission, how do they even know what to do? Are they walking around with some secret cosmic handbook?
It's not about conscious knowledge, but about a subtle, energetic influence. Think of it like this. Imagine dropping a pebble into a still pond. The ripples spread outwards, affecting the entire surface. Similarly, a wanderer's presence can create a ripple effect, subtly influencing the people and events around them, nudging things towards a more positive direction.
So maybe some of us are actually wanderers and just don't realize it. Is there a
Right.
way to tell? Should I be looking for hidden antennas or something?
Don't worry, you probably won't find any extraterrestrial hardware.
Okay, good.
The raw material suggests that recognizing yourself as a wanderer is more about an inner knowing, a feeling of not belonging, a yearning for a home you can't quite place.
I'll admit there are days when I feel like I was dropped off on the wrong planet, but wouldn't remembering their mission make things easier for these wanderers?
Right?
Why the veil of forgetting?
Well, it's all about free will. If wanderers came in with full awareness of their mission, it could influence people's choices and potentially violate their free will. The veil ensures that every soul, including wanderers, has the opportunity to make their own choices and learn from their experiences.
So this veil of forgetting is like a cosmic equalizer, ensuring that the game of evolution is played fair. But what about the bad guys in this cosmic drama? The excerpts mention a negative force known as the Orion Group. Are we talking alien overlords here?
Not exactly overlords, but certainly a force to be reckoned with. The Orion Group represents a different evolutionary path, one focused on service to self and control through manipulation. They're not here to conquer with spaceships and lasers, but with more subtle tactics, preying on our fears and insecurities.
Okay, that sounds pretty sinister. So are they like whispering in our ears, implanting subliminal messages? How do they actually exert their influence?
Think of it as an energetic influence. They can amplify existing negativity. So seeds of doubt and discord and even manipulate external events to create chaos and conflict. Their goal is to keep us trapped in cycles of fear, anger, and separation.
So they're like puppeteers, pulling strings behind the scenes to orchestrate negative outcomes.
Yeah.
But but if they're so powerful, how do we even stand a chance? Are we just pawns in their cosmic game?
Well, remember, free will is paramount. The Orion Group can't force us to do anything we don't choose to do. Their power lies in deception and temptation. They offer us easy answers, quick fixes, promises of power, but ultimately those paths lead to greater separation and suffering.
So it's all about recognizing their tactics and making conscious choices that align with the law of one. It seems like we have to become much more discerning about the information we consume and the people we allow to influence us.
Absolutely. Don't blindly accept any ideology or authority.
Okay.
Question everything. Seek truth and follow your inner guidance. The more you align yourself with love and wisdom, the less susceptible you become to manipulation.
It feels empowering to know that we're not helpless victims in all of this, that
Yeah.
we actually have a say in our own evolution and the future of our planet.
Yeah,
But how do we actually apply the law of one in our daily lives?
right.
I mean, it's easy to talk about love and unity, but what does that look like in practice?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm ready for the practical advice.
Okay.
What are some specific things we can do to put the law of one into action? Give us the steps.
It doesn't have to be these grand gestures, right? It could be as simple as offering a genuine smile to a stranger, listening with an open heart to a friend in need, or choosing to respond with patience instead of anger in a frustrating situation.
So it's about those everyday choices, those little acts of kindness that ripple outwards and create a more positive atmosphere.
Yeah.
But what about those times when we're really struggling, when fear, anger, or resentment take over?
Yeah.
How do we stay aligned with the law of one when we're feeling anything but loving?
Those are the moments that really test our commitment to this path, right?
Mm.
Remember, the raw material emphasizes that challenges are catalysts for growth.
Okay.
So when you find yourself in those difficult emotional states, it's an opportunity to pause, to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and to ask yourself, what lesson is this experience trying to teach me?
So instead of getting swept away by negativity, we can use it as an opportunity to learn and evolve. It's like turning those challenging emotions into fuel for our spiritual growth.
I like that. But what about those of us who really resonate with this idea of a mixed harvest?
Right.
Does that mean we're living in a constant battleground between these two polarities?
It's certainly a time of heightened intensity with both positive and negative energies amplified. It can feel like walking a tightrope between two opposing forces, but remember, you always have the power to choose which path you align with.
But how do we make those choices when we're bombarded with these conflicting messages and influences? It's easy to get caught up in the drama, the fear, the anger that seems to be swirling all around us. That's where discernment becomes crucial. It's about developing a strong connection to your inner guidance, that wise voice within that knows what's truly aligned with your highest good. Meditation can be incredibly helpful in this process. It allows you to quiet the mental chatter and tune into that inner wisdom.
So meditation is like creating a sacred space within where we can connect with that deeper sense of knowing. I can see how that would be essential in a mixed harvest environment. But what about those times when we feel overwhelmed by the negativity, when it feels like the darkness is winning? What can we do to protect our own energy and stay aligned with the light?
Remember, the more you align with love and light, the less susceptible you become to negativity. It's like building up an energetic immune system.
Hmm.
And there are practical steps you can take to strengthen that resilience.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the practical advice. Give us the tools. What can we do to protect our energy and stay aligned with the law of one, even in the midst of chaos?
One simple but powerful technique is to visualize yourself surrounded by a bubble of white light. Imagine this light as a protective barrier, deflecting any negative energy that comes your way. You can also use affirmations, repeating phrases that affirm your alignment with love and light.
So it's like creating an energetic shield, reinforcing our connection to
Yeah.
those positive frequencies. I like that. But what about those times when we've already absorbed negativity, when we're feeling drained and depleted? How do we cleanse our energy and get back to a state of balance?
Spending time in nature can be incredibly restorative.
Okay.
Trees, in particular, are powerful energy cleansers. Imagine yourself standing beneath a large tree, allowing its roots to draw out any negativity and its branches to infuse you with fresh, vibrant energy. You can also take a salt bath, visualizing the salt absorbing any negative energy and purifying your auric field.
So it's like using the elements of nature as allies in our energetic hygiene. I'm starting to see how all of this ties into the bigger picture of the harvest and planetary transition. But what about the idea of service to others?
Right.
These excerpts really emphasize that as a key principle of the law of one. What does true service look like? Doesn't mean we all have to become selfless martyrs.
Service to others isn't about sacrificing your own needs or becoming a doormat. It's about finding ways to contribute your unique gifts and talents to the world in a way that benefits others. It could be as simple as offering a listening ear to a friend in need, volunteering your time at a local charity, or even just choosing to be more mindful of your impact on the environment.
So it's about aligning our actions with a sense of purpose, recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our choices can ripple outwards and create positive change. But what about those who are on the path of service to self? Are they destined to stay stuck in that cycle of negativity forever? Is there any hope for them to shift their polarity?
Remember, the raw material emphasizes the power of free will and the infinite potential for growth and evolution. No soul is irredeemably bound to a particular path.
So even those who have aligned with service to self can choose to change course and embrace the path of service to others.
Yeah.
That's a powerful concept.
Mhm.
But how does that shift actually happen? What would motivate someone to make such a profound change in their orientation?
It often involves a series of experiences and insights that lead to a gradual awakening.
Yeah.
Perhaps they encounter the consequences of their actions, or they witness the transformative power of love and compassion in others. Sometimes it's a sudden, profound realization that their current path is leading them toward isolation and suffering.
So it's like a series of wake-up calls, nudging them towards a different way of being. But let's talk about these densities a little more. These excerpts suggest that we're moving towards a fourth density experience. Can you paint a picture of what that might look like? What distinguishes fourth density from our current third density reality?
Imagine a world where love and understanding are the dominant frequencies, where empathy and compassion are natural and effortless, where conflict and separation are replaced by cooperation and unity.
Okay, that sounds pretty idyllic. But is it really possible? I mean, looking at the state of the world right now, it's hard to imagine such a dramatic shift.
Well, remember, the future is not set in stone, right?
Ah.
It's a tapestry woven from the choices we make each and every day, and the more we align with the principles of the law of one, the more we contribute to the creation of a fourth density reality.
So it's like we're all holding paintbrushes and the colors we choose determine the masterpiece we create. I like that analogy. But if we're moving towards a fourth density reality, what happens to those who aren't ready for that shift? Do they get left behind?
Remember, The universe is vast and diverse, offering a multitude of experiences for souls at all levels of evolution. The raw material suggests that those who aren't ready for fourth density will continue their journey on other third density planets,
Yeah.
where they can continue to learn and evolve at their own pace.
So it's not a punishment, but rather a redirection to an environment that's more suited to their current level of development. I
Yeah.
I can see how that fits into the bigger picture of a loving and compassionate universe. But what about those who are ready for the shift? What does the transition to fourth density actually involve? Do we get beamed up to a spaceship or something?
Don't worry, no spaceships required.
Okay, good.
The transition is more about an energetic shift, a realignment of your vibrational frequency with the frequencies of fourth density.
So it's not about a sudden dramatic event, but a gradual process of aligning and attuning to a different way of being.
That's right. Imagine a tuning fork resonating with a particular note. As your consciousness evolves, you naturally gravitate towards the density that matches your vibration.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about our physical bodies?
Hmm?
Do we transition into fourth density with our current forms, or do we get upgraded to some kind of light body?
The REM material suggests that the transition involves a transformation of consciousness that also affects the physical body. Fourth density beings are described as having a more refined and less dense physical form.
So we don't shed our bodies like a snake skin, but rather they undergo a kind of metamorphosis.
You could say that the specifics of this transformation aren't fully detailed, but the implication is that our current physical forms evolve to reflect our higher vibrational state.
This is also fascinating, but I have to admit I'm still a little fuzzy on the concept of time in relation to this harvest. Does it happen at a specific point in linear time, or is it more of a fluid ongoing process?
The raw material speaks of the harvest as both a cyclical event and an ongoing process. There are specific time periods when the transition into fourth density is more likely, but it's also happening on an individual basis all the time.
So it's like a wave that crests at certain intervals,
Yeah.
but the water is always flowing.
That's a good analogy. The universe doesn't operate solely on linear time as we perceive it. There are multiple dimensions of time and space that intersect and influence each other.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This a lot to wrap my head around.
That's the beauty of exploring these concepts, right? They challenge our conventional understanding of reality and open us up to new possibilities.
Well, this deep dive has certainly been an eye opener. I'm feeling a sense of awe and wonder mixed with a healthy dose of curiosity.
That's the perfect attitude to approach these mysteries, right? The more you explore, the more you'll discover.
I'm definitely excited to continue this journey. Now let's talk about the role of free will in this harvest. If we're all part of one creator experiencing itself, do we really have a choice in which path we take?
That's a profound question, and the raw material emphasizes that free will is paramount in the law of one.
But if we're all ultimately expressions of the same source, doesn't that imply kind of predestination?
Well, the concept of free will within a unified consciousness can be challenging to grasp.
Yeah.
The raw material suggests that the creator, in its infinite wisdom, chose to experience itself through the lens of individuality, granting each fragment of its being the freedom to choose its own path.
So it's like the creator is playing a cosmic game of hide and seek with itself, allowing each piece to explore and discover its own unique expression.
That's a poetic way to put it. The diversity of experience is a key element in the evolution of consciousness. The creator learns about itself through the choices and actions of its individual expressions.
That's a beautiful concept. It makes me feel like my choices truly matter, that I am actively contributing to the unfolding of the universe.
That's exactly right. Every choice you make, every thought you have, every action you take sends ripples through the fabric of existence.
Okay, that's incredibly empowering. It makes me want to be more conscious and intentional about the choices I make.
Yeah, that's the key. The more you align your choices with love, wisdom, and service to others, the more you contribute to the positive evolution of consciousness, both for yourself and for the planet.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to ponder. It's a reminder that we're not just passengers on this cosmic ride. We're active participants, co-creators with the universe.
Absolutely, and that's a responsibility we should approach with both humility and enthusiasm. The choices we make today shape the reality of tomorrow.
I'm feeling inspired to step into that responsibility with more awareness and intention.
That's the spirit. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and know that you are guided and supported every step of the way.
This this has been an incredibly enlightening conversation. I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on the nature of reality and my place within it.
And remember, this is just a glimpse into the vast wisdom contained within the Law of One. The more you explore these concepts, the more you'll discover about yourself and the universe you inhabit.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to continue this exploration. Now let's talk about the role of extraterrestrial beings in this cosmic framework.
hmm
The Re material mentions various extraterrestrial groups, both positive and negative. Can you elaborate on their involvement and how it relates to the Law of One?
The raw material describes a cosmic tapestry woven with threads of various extraterrestrial influences. Some of these groups are aligned with the positive polarity of service to others, while others embody the negative polarity of service to self.
Okay, so it's like a cosmic United Nations with different delegations representing different agendas.
That's a good analogy, but it's important to remember that extraterrestrial involvement in human affairs is not a new phenomenon. It's been happening for millennia.
So we're not just talking about recent UFO sightings and alien abductions, but about a long history of interaction between humanity and extraterrestrial beings.
That's right. The raw material suggests that extraterrestrial influence has played a role in shaping human civilization, both for good and for ill.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the positive groups. Who are they, and what's their mission?
The Ra material mentions a group known as the Confederation of Planets, of which Ra is a member. They represent a collective of advanced civilizations that have aligned with the principles of service to others.
So they're like a cosmic peace corps,
Yeah.
dedicated to helping less evolved civilizations.
That's a good way to visualize it. Their mission is to offer guidance, support, and knowledge to those who are seeking the path of love and light.
But how do they actually do that? I mean, do they have spaceships and advanced technology?
The raw material describes the Confederation's technology as being far beyond our current understanding. They have the ability to travel vast distances, manipulate energy, and communicate telepathically.
Okay, that sounds pretty impressive. But why don't they just come in and solve all our problems?
Well, the Law of One emphasizes the importance of free will and the principle of non-interference. The Confederation cannot violate the free will of others, even if it means witnessing suffering and negativity.
Okay, so they're like cosmic observers watching and waiting for us to make our own choices.
That's a good analogy. They believe that true growth comes from facing challenges and making conscious decisions, even if those decisions lead to difficult experiences.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about respecting our autonomy as spiritual beings, even if it means we might stumble along the way.
The universe is a classroom, and we learn through both our successes and our mistakes. The Confederation trusts in the inherent wisdom of the Creator to guide us through the evolutionary process.
Okay, that's reassuring. But what about the negative groups? Who are they and what are their intentions?
Well, the raw material mentions a group known as the Orion Group, which represents the negative polarity of service to self.
So they're like the cosmic bad guys seeking to exploit and control others.
Their methods are often subtle, working through deception, manipulation, and the amplification of negative emotions.
So they're like psychic vampires feeding off the fear and suffering of others.
That's a striking analogy and not far from the truth. They seek to keep humanity trapped in a cycle of negativity, preventing us from realizing our full potential.
But why? What do they gain from that?
The raw material suggests that the Orion Group believes that power and control are the keys to survival and evolution. They seek to dominate others and accumulate energy through fear and manipulation.
Okay, so it's a very different worldview from the Confederation's focus on love and unity.
Exactly. And the interplay between these two polarities creates the dynamic tension of the third density.
So it's like a cosmic tug of war with both sides vying for influence over humanity's evolution.
That's a good analogy. And the harvest is a time when the balance of power can shift depending on the choices that humanity makes.
Okay, that's both exciting and a little daunting. It feels like we're living in a pivotal moment in history.
The harvest is a time of great opportunity, a chance to break free from the influence of negativity and create a new reality based on love, wisdom, and unity.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a new perspective on the cosmic forces at play in our lives. I'm feeling a sense of responsibility, but also a sense of excitement about the possibilities that lie ahead.
That's the spirit. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and know that you are guided and supported every step of the way.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of the nature of reality and my place within it.
And remember, this is just a glimpse into the vast wisdom contained within the Law of One. The more you explore, the more you'll discover.
I'm definitely eager to continue this exploration. Now, I'm curious about the concept of ascension.
Hmm.
The Round Material mentions the possibility of ascending to higher densities of consciousness. Can you explain what that means and how it relates to the harvest?
Well, ascension is essentially the process of spiritual evolution, raising your vibrational frequency to align with higher levels of consciousness. Think of it like leveling up in a video game.
So it's like graduating from one cosmic grade to the next, like we were talking about earlier with densities.
That's a good way to think about it. And you're right, the harvest is a key point in this ascension process.
Mm.
It's like a checkpoint where your progress is assessed.
Okay.
Have you learned the lessons of your current level?
Right.
Are you aligned with the law of one? That core principle of love and unity? Those factors determine your readiness for the next level.
So those who have done their homework, so to speak, and are aligned with the positive polarity are ready to ascend to the fourth density.
Precisely. But it's crucial to understand that ascension isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of growth and evolution. You don't just reach the peak of the mountain and stop. There's always another peak to climb, another level of understanding to strive for.
So ascension is more about the journey than the destination.
That's a great way to put it. And here's another interesting point. The raw material suggests that ascension isn't just about individual progress.
Okay.
It's also about the collective evolution of consciousness.
What do you mean by that?
Think of it this way. As more and more individuals ascend, it's like they're adding more light to the world.
Okay.
This increased light makes it easier for others to find their way, to awaken to their own potential for growth. It's a collective effort.
So it's like we're all in this together,
Yeah.
helping each other along the path.
Yeah.
It's a comforting thought. But what about those who don't ascend during this harvest? What happens to them? Are they left behind in a cosmic dust cloud?
Not at all. Remember, the universe is vast and incredibly diverse, offering countless opportunities for learning and growth.
Right.
The raw material suggests that those who aren't quite ready for fourth density will continue their journey on other third density planets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a punishment or a failure. It's more like transferring to a different school that's a better fit for their current needs.
That's a great way to think about it. There's no judgment, just redirection to an environment that offers the most appropriate lessons for their continued evolution.
I'm really starting to appreciate the compassion and inclusivity woven into the law of one. It's not about winners and losers. It's about everyone having the opportunity to learn and grow at their own pace.
Exactly. It's a journey we're all on together, even if our paths sometimes diverge.
Well, this deep dive has been eye-opening. I feel like I've not only learned a lot, but I've been given a whole toolkit for navigating this crazy cosmic journey we're all on.
Remember, you are a powerful creator. You have the ability to choose love, to spread light, and to contribute to the positive evolution of consciousness.
I'm feeling inspired and ready to step into that power. And for our listeners who are feeling the same, remember you're not alone on this path. We're all connected, all part of this grand cosmic dance. Keep seeking, keep growing, and trust in the unfolding of your own unique journey.
Until next time, may you walk in balance and harmony.